Are you ready for a new entry into the John Wick universe? But it stars Ana De Armas as a female assassin in a movie called Ballerina? No? Good, because you get to wait another year for it. Let's talk about it on the other side. Here we are, folks. Welcome back to the channel, Bounding into Comics, female-led John Wick spin-off Ballerina with Ana De Armas delayed for 1 year for massive reshoots. Wow, what a surprise this is. Now, the John Wick movies, I recently watched the first two. Absolutely well done. Keanu Reeves plays the role perfect. There's really no girl bossery per se in those first two movies, and I suppose that trend carries through the second two, as they were very well received. And the fourth one was the highest grossing entry into the series at the box office with over $400 million. So they did the Continental spinoff, which was on Netflix, and I watched the trailer for the show, and I looked at it and I was like, that's going to be a hard pass. Because I swear every other scene, it seemed like in the trailer, was some small, diminutive female beating the shit out of some guy. And I'm like,
hold up, wait a minute, something ain't right.
After watching the first two John Wick movies, this is what I see. And I'm like, no, I'll watch the fourth movie. But let's take a look at this article here, and we'll go through it, and I'll give you my thoughts. Ana De Armas was one of the big reasons people actually liked No Time to Die, was her scenes, and she was very limited with her role in the movie, but those scenes weren't even her. That was Manya Maula, her stunt double during those fight scenes. So we have this with her. This movie's apparently done, filmed in the can, but we're going back and doing reshoots and pushing it back a full year now because they don't think they did something right. Another day, another female-led action film delayed due to the need for reshoots. Yes, we just went through this with the Marvels.
Blackout magic!
That begs the question, why even make another movie? We want to make money. Okay. Why not introduce another male character? Seems to have worked well the first time. Well, we want to, we have to be inclusive and diverse. And we have to include this female audience who wants to see that.
What?
And then the crickets come in, and this non-existent imaginary audience. And I've heard so many YouTubers talk about this, and I've said it for years too now. I mean, this audience doesn't exist. The Twitter audience, the people, the weirdos that are attacking me on Twitter because I said Pedro Pascal cast in any masculine role is a miscast, and I'll stand by that. Look at all that unchecked mental illness. The John Wick franchise has been the most influential action franchise the last 10 years. If you're going to watch a John Wick film, you know what you're going to get. At least 2.5 hours of people getting shot and killed in creative ways. And that's one thing I really enjoyed, is the research and homework and training that Keanu Reeves put into perfecting the techniques and tactics, weapons, fighting for that movie really put it over the edge. And am I supposed to believe that Ana De Armas did the exact same thing?
Women.
However, after the release of John Wick Chapter 4 last year, it seems like Lionsgate was moving away from Keanu Reeves and pivoting towards Ana De Armas in a spin-off entitled Ballerina that could spawn a new series.
But why?
Ballerina, starring Ana De Armas as an assassin trained in the tradition of the Ruska Roma of Russia and Belarus, was originally supposed to release this summer on June 7th, but that plan has now changed.
See, nobody cares.
Last week, Lionsgate confirmed the upcoming spin-off has been delayed for a full year due to the director wanting to add more action scenes. Okay, this is supposed to be a female-led action movie, and the director's like, we gotta push the entire thing back a year Because we need to add more action scenes to the action movie.
Now comes the part where we throw our heads back and laugh. Ready?
I mean, who's buying this as a marketable, viable action movie then? If you have to add more action to your action movie. According to Deadline's report, the production will bring in series mastermind Chad Stahelski to work with the director Len Wiseman on the new sequences. The film being delayed a full year with just over 3 months left before its release raised some major red flags about the project. Insiders question whether the film is undergoing massive reshoots to fix a part of the movie that is major or maybe disastrously broken. Over the last several years, we've seen this tactic with big-name projects such as Captain America, Brave New World, Daredevil, Born Again, and The Thunderbolts. None of those movies I am going to watch. Captain America, Brave New World was supposed to be Captain America, New World Order, but that hit the World Economic Forum and the DEI crowd a little too close to home, so they made Disney change that. Daredevil, Born Again, they have to reshoot a bunch on that. I don't remember why, nor do I care. And the Thunderbolts was something that I was excited about 5 years ago, but with Disney now saying that, well, it's not going to be Baron Helmut Zemo that's going to lead the team. It's going to be replacement Black Widow. Yelena Belova, that's her name. Yelena Belova, Florence Pugh's character. So nobody cares. Except for simps and MCU stans who have broken brains. Ian McShane, great character in these movies. It's funny, he says, Ian McShane, one of the many stars of John Wick set to appear in the film, says the reshoots are being done as a move to protect the franchise. It's not reshoots, it's new shoots, McShane said in an appearance on the BBC's The One. The new shooting for Ballerina, which is a spin-off with Ana De Armas of the John Wick franchise. You know, it's like they've got to protect the franchise. Okay, so you've got Ian McShane saying that they have to do new shoots to protect the franchise. When you are filming a continuation to a franchise and you've got the movie done and you say, hey, we've got to go back and film new scenes because we have to protect the franchise, your movie is fucked. Your movie is literally 100% unequivocally, unapologetically, it has no legs at that point. The only legs it does have are Ana De Armas's, which are gorgeous, as is she. But this is not going to sell. This is not going to draw men in to want to see this movie. If you want a pathetic movie, piss-poor movie, you know, with women kicking men, I mean, you can watch the 2019 Charlie's Angels that Elizabeth Banks said wasn't for men. Women had to see it, and then it was men's fault that the movie failed. And that will be the same excuse they use here. It's the same playbook. I mean, when are we going to realize that they keep doing the same thing over and over and using the same arguments, except now they have far less weight behind them because so many of these have actually failed, but yet they don't learn anything because that's Hollywood.
Weird. It's Hollywood, baby.
McShane continued via Coming Soon. It was about a year ago we did the movie Ballerina. Okay, so he's admitting this movie's done, in the can, finished. They looked at it, and Chad's come in, the guy who directed all the John Wick movies, and they want to make it better. Keanu's in it as well. It takes place between John Wick 3 and 4. I haven't seen those two yet, but I'm guessing. Okay, so this is what we don't need. We don't need Ana De Armas to come in and just girl boss her way too close to the sun and, you know, usurp the John Wick power and authority and then, you know, emasculate all the male characters, which is going to happen. I mean, here's McShane's comments right here.
And then we go on to Budapest. It's not reshoots, it's new shoots. The new shooting for Ballerina, which is the spin-off with Ana De Armas of the John Wick franchise. You know, it's like they've got to protect the franchise. And obviously, I did it, when was it? We did it about a year ago. We did the movie, Ballerina. And they've looked at it, and Chad's come in, the guy's directed all the John Wick movies, and they want to make it better because they have to protect, because Keanu's in it as well. And it takes place between John Wick 3 and John Wick 4.
Oh.
Ah, okay,
So it's, yeah,
right.
so
Oh, I
there's-
see.
I've
So
just
they'll
finished
still...
watching the Continental, the prequel to. No, have I said the wrong thing?
Why would I say no? Not wrong. That no, they never asked anybody about it. They just went with a. They just went and did it.
You could see Ian McShane in that clip was looking at the Continental going, no good. They didn't ask us. They didn't consult anybody. None of the people from John Wick were actually behind this. They just took the property and said, this is what we're going to do. And replacing Lance Reddick is impossible. I'm sorry. You cannot replace that man. I didn't watch the Continental. I'm not going to watch the Continental. I'm not going to do it.
Not going to do it. Wouldn't be prudent at this juncture.
So let's finish up the article here. It says, this isn't the first time Chad Stahelski has been called to save a struggling film. If you can remember back in 2019, Stahelski joined the Warner Brothers Birds of Prey film to assist Kathy Ann. Ah, yes, another inexperienced female filmmaker called in to direct an action tentpole franchise that failed miserably with fans. The effort was in vain, and the film turned into a box office and critical flop, regardless of pandemic restrictions. With these intense reshoots around the corner, the question must be asked, can this film even be a success with an exploding budget? No, it cannot. We know it can't. The fight scenes in Birds of Prey, which I covered that movie extensively back in 2019, especially talking about this. I did a video specifically about the fight sequences, and I broke those down, I believe, in a couple videos, and I watched them, and they wanted to tout the Funhouse fight scene, which was nothing but over-accommodating large muscular stuntmen waiting for their marks for small, minuscule, tiny, unathletic actresses to throw pathetically timed punches at them when it wasn't an actual stunt woman, taking over on the scene. It was ridiculous. That movie was a dumpster fire, and I am led to believe that this will be nothing but more of the same. It says John Wick Chapter 4 was the highest grossing film in the franchise, drawing $440 million versus a $100 million production budget. However, De Armas has yet to prove if she has any drawing power as an action star. She starred in the critically panned Ghosted film with Captain America actor Chris Evans. The film was $200 million actioner released by Apple TV that put De Armas in the role of a spy. Hated by critics and audiences alike, it's saddled with a 27% score and a 55% from each class, respectively, on Rotten Tomatoes.
That is one big pile of shit.
We'll see if Ballerina, which is now slated for June 6th, 2025, suffers the same fate.
No, and I don't care.
I don't think this movie is going to do well at all, and if history is any guide to this, folks, we know how this will play out if this thing actually gets released, which I'm sure they'll push it out into the theaters, and the budget is going to balloon on this astronomically with all these new shoots, as Ian McShane so eloquently pointed out in that interview where he wanted to just trash the movie but couldn't, and he's a consummate professional and a tremendous actor and a wonderful talent. So good on him for just kind of, throwing those barbs in there. But now it's your turn. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Are you going to see this movie realistically? Are you even going to remember that it's coming out in a year? Well, I'm sure they'll inundate us with advertisements, and they'll try to play up the fact that Keanu Reeves is in it to no avail, because these pickups and new shoots aren't going to fix the fact that they've created a dumpster fire that they're probably going to go back and reshoot at least 40% of. And then, of course, the excuses will start. They'll blame men and sexism and all the usual suspects for the failure of Ballerina. Do all the YouTube things. Ding the bell if you haven't yet. Subscribe so you know when we go live. I know my ardent supporters are not getting notified, so that means if you're just finding us, you're not going to get notified either. YouTube is not going to recommend us. I'm not saying this for attention. I'm saying this because after 5 years, it is a fact, and I know it. So please, folks, make sure you've got us notifications turned on. Follow us on all the social medias. You know what to do. I'm Etep from the Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all of you. If I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and I will catch you on the next one. And remember, it's always better to burn out than fade away.